Hello, my name is Christian Gwinn. Um, some of you may know me. Well, all of you may know me. Since the youth group is so small. Uh, I went to the youth group Rama for a couple weeks because I was here um, visiting my family. Um, right now I live in Dallas, Texas. I attend Christ for the Nations, and if you want to get to know God more and personally, um, I would recommend Christ for the Nations. It is awesome there. I enjoy it really, really much, a lot. I actually am the assistant drama director at the CFN Church, the Christ for the Nations Church there. I was given that position the week I got there, the first Sunday I got there, because they found out I'm in acting. And then later on, I did this filmmaking workshop. I wrote a script. Took me 10 hours. I cast it all and directed it. And I actually showed that movie here on New Year's Eve, at the New Year's Eve barbecue. It was called Everything. I hope you all liked it, if you saw it, of course. But last week I was actually asked by David to bring forth a message because he wants me to use my gifts to to honor Christ. So that's what I'm doing. I actually wrote this yesterday, so I'm pretty nervous. I'm actually going to talk about a very popular story from the Bible, a true story about Noah. Um, One of my classes last semester at Christ for the Nations was creation science, and I learned so much stuff there, so many things that you would never think about. I was so full of knowledge. I got so full of knowledge with all the about the animals, dinosaurs, Noah's Ark, Adam and Eve, the creation, the fall, everything, and how Genesis is the most attacked book in the whole entire Bible. Well, I'm going to bring some of those facts to you today to keep you interested in what I have to say to you. The subject for today is actually a question. Is believing enough? That is a question so many Christians have been asking. Is believing enough? Do you know? I do. Well, the verse that I'm bringing to you today, Genesis 1:26 and 31. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." Then God saw everything that he had made, and indeed it was very good. So the evening and the morning were the sixth day. Some people don't know this when God says in that verse, "Let us make man in our image according to our likeness." God is 3 in 1. It's a Trinity. God, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. That's what he's talking about. Our likeness. In our image. Anyway, I'd like to bring a couple interesting facts to keep you interested in what I have to say. So the first one, the week of creation was certainly busy. By Friday, God had created over 5,000 different kinds of mammals, 10,000 different birds, and 30,000 kinds of fish. Also included were almost 1 million different kinds of insects. Also, thousands upon thousands of dinosaurs, which, yes, man did walk with the dinosaurs, unlike so many evolutionists, what they say, that we never lived with the dinosaurs. But we did. And Adam named the dinosaurs too, so. Other fact, scientists have discovered new evidence that a deluge of biblical proportions inundated the Black Sea basin some 7,500 years ago, wiping out entire cities and submerging thousands of square miles of dry land. Researchers have discovered an ancient southern coastline some 550 feet beneath the surface of the Black Sea, near the Turkish port of Sinop. Technology to detect and recover artifacts has been important to the field of underwater archaeology. A team of deep-sea explorers, led by Titanic discoverer Robert Ballard, used sonar images to locate the submerged Black Sea beach. I found that a little interesting. Pretty cool. I'm kind of sorry because, as you can probably tell, my nose is kind of stuffy. So, and I'm going to try to do this so much. Let me just take a drink. Okay, so, wrote down all these notes. It's kind of, it looks like a lot, but it'll be over in a jiffy. Just give me your full, undivided attention. I hope God speaks to you through this. First, I'm going to bring to you a thought. I don't know how much experience you've had flying in an airplane, but I want you to think about if you've ever been on a plane. Like, I'm going on a plane tomorrow back to Dallas, Texas. That's why I'm doing this on video, because I couldn't make it today, because I'm taking my cousin to the airport right now, and tomorrow I will be going to back to Dallas to continue my schooling there, and acting and directing. Ooh. But I'm going on a plane, and I wondered if you guys have ever been on a plane. Well, I have a few questions I would like to ask you. When you bought your ticket, did you believe that the airplane would take you to the destination printed on that ticket? When you checked the departure schedule on the monitor, did you believe that the time given was accurate? Before you got on the airplane, did you believe that all of the equipment was in satisfactory working order? And of course, you personally met each member of the crew. Did you believe that the pilots had the proper credentials to safely fly the plane and get you to your destination? My guess is, you probably didn't think about any of these questions. You just walked down the ramp, boarded the plane, found your seat, sat down, and wondered what kind of food they would serve on the flight. Soon your plane taxied to the runway, you heard the roar of the engines, and the plane lifted off the ground. A couple hours later, your plane began its descent into wherever your destination was. Within a few minutes, once again, you were safely on the ground. Only this time, in another city hundreds of miles from home, maybe even thousands. Your experience is a perfect illustration of the three components of belief. First, there is a basis for belief. Stop and think about why you weren't afraid when you got on the plane. You not only believed that the plane would stay in the air, but also that the pilots knew how to fly it safely. Upon what basis did you come to that belief? Was it because you understood the aerodynamics involved with the design of the aircraft? Or was it because planes have flown safely for decades? The second component of belief is action. If you know that something is true, you will act accordingly. For example, you believe that the plane was safe. So when the ticket agent called for your flight to board, you willingly walked down the ramp and boarded the plane. I can assure you that the millions of people who travel by air each year would not get on airplanes if they thought they would not be able to get safely off of them. The final component of belief is results. When you believe in something, you expect to receive what was promised. When you took your trip, it was your expectation that the plane would land in wherever you were, say, New Jersey, and not Los Angeles. I believe that my plane is going to land in Dallas tomorrow, not London. Never forget, belief has a basis that leads to an action that achieves a promised result. Although there are many stories in the Bible that illustrate these three components, there is probably none better than the account of Noah and the flood. Even though you may know a lot about the ark and the flood, I want you to focus your attention on Noah and what it meant for him to believe. The story of Noah and the ark really begins in Genesis 6:5 when we read the following words. Then the Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every intent that the thoughts of his heart were only evil continually. This is one of the strongest statements about man's sinful nature found anywhere in the Bible. This verse reminds us that sin begins in the thought life. The people of Noah's day were exceedingly wicked from the inside out. The wickedness of man was so great and was such an offense to God's holiness that the Lord finally said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, creeping things and birds of the air, for I am sorry that I have made them. Fortunately, as recorded in the next verse, Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. Surrounded by indescribable wickedness, God found a righteous man named Noah. Long before his time, Noah had believed in God as the creator and the sovereign Lord over his life. Noah was clearly one of those men described in Genesis 4:26, who began to call on the name of the Lord. For many years, Noah had developed a basis for belief in God. It is no wonder that God chose Noah to undertake the most incredible building project ever accomplished by mankind. Because Noah had an unwavering belief in God, he would be just the man that God could call upon to put his belief into action. For a moment, stop and think about what God was asking Noah to do. First, God was asking Noah to believe that a worldwide flood was coming, one that would destroy every living creature on the face of the earth. Even though mankind had never seen a flood, or rain for that matter, Noah was asked to believe that it would indeed happen. Men, women, children, and the creatures of the earth would be destroyed if Noah did not put his belief into action. Second, God was asking Noah to believe that he could build an ark that would save mankind as well as representatives from the animal world. If it was even possible for Noah to build such a boat, would the boat be able to hold all that God had intended? While the ark was not designed for beauty or speed, its dimensions would provide extraordinary stability in the rough floodwaters. A cubit was about 18 inches long, making the ark 450 feet long, 75 feet wide, and 45 feet high. A gigantic box of that size would be very stable in the water, impossible to capsize. The volume of space in the ark would be 1.4 million cubic feet, equal to the capacity of 522 standard railroad boxcars. Sufficient space to carry 125,000 animals, the average size of a sheep. It had 3 stories, each 15 feet high. Each deck was equipped with various rooms. Even though the ark was massive in size, would it be big enough? Researchers indicate that there are less than 18,000 species living on the earth today. In order to allow for extinct animals, this number may have been doubled in the time of Noah. With 2 of each, it is reasonable to believe that a total of 72,000 creatures would have entered the ark. As noted, the cubic space of the ark could hold 125,000 sheep, and since the average size of land animals is smaller than a sheep, perhaps that less than 60% of the space was used. The very large animals were surely young representatives. There was plenty of room also for the 1 million species of insects, as well as food for a year for everyone. Third, God was asking Noah to believe that animals and creatures would voluntarily enter the ark. Even if Noah had used equipment available today, he would have been unable to capture 2, male and female, of every living creature on this earth. Noah had to believe that God would not only bring the animals and insects to the ark, but that there would be one of each gender, and that they would board the ark in a safe and organized manner.